Today I have a Vaylantz deck profile. Let's get started. We're going to play 3 Shinonome, 3 Buster Baron, 3 Archer, 3 Voltage Viscount, 3 Mad Marquis, 3 Ninja, 2 Hojo, and 1 Dominator Duke. There should be a total of 21 Vaylantz. For non-Vaylantz monsters, we're going to play 1 Kendo Spirit, 1 Magical Libera, 1 Cyberstein, 1 Gizmek Okami, and 3 Ash Blossom. For spell cards, we're going to play 2 Koenig Wissen, 2 Shinra Bancho, 3 Solo Awakening, and 1 Vaylantz Wars. For non-Vaylantz spells, we're going to play 3 Small World, 1 Senate Switch, and lastly, 1 Called by the Grave. For the extra deck, we're going to play 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Sprite Elf, 2 Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Night Yamera Unicorn, 1 Appaloosa, and 1 Access Code Talker. We will also play 1 Mamanka, 1 Genesis Grand Duke, and 1 Naturia Exterio. I play Chen Yang. However, we are looking for a level 10 Synchro. So your ideal target, if you do have it, if you can afford it, would be Baron de Fleur. I also play 1 level 8, or 1 Synchro 8, Ruddy Rose Dragon, though you could also switch this out for Boral Savage Dragon. I also play 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 Gear Gigan X, and lastly, 1 Totally Awesome. For the side deck, I don't particularly have a side deck, though this deck also does have a FTK, so that's what I choose to have for my side deck. Now, you can debate whether or not you should start with this and then side into what I just showed you, but these are the cards that you would need to put in the deck for the FTK. So for the main deck, all you need is 3 telekinetic charging cells. So pretty easy to change the main deck as you're already maining Cyberstein. For extra deck monsters, this is where you would definitely need to play either one variant or the other. But for this, you need 6 other extra deck monsters. You'll need Reprodocus. That will change our Cyberstein to a Psychic type, which would allow us to use that telekinetic charging cell. We'll play Power Tool Dragon to search out the telekinetic charging cell. 1 Sea Monster of Theseus, that will be our Cyberstein target. And our burn card will be the Blaze Phoenix. I will demonstrate a few of the combo lines. For this particular combo line, you'll need 2 cards. You'll need Priestess and the Archer. We're going to start with our Priestess. We're going to scale it, special summon it, activate its effect to search for a Vaylantz spell card. we're going to search out Solo Awakening. We're going to activate Awakening to place another Vaylantz monster into a free pendulum zone, and we are going to go for the Baron. So he's in the pendulum zone. We'll special summon him. Then we'll activate his effect to move the Priestess into a free monster zone that is adjacent to it. We'll activate our effect, and we'll search for a Vaylantz monster card. This time, we're going to grab Hojo. So we have Hojo and the Archer in our hand. This should be in the graveyard. From here, we're going to do a Link 2. I'm going to put that there. We'll do a Link 2 into Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond the Pendulum will activate its effect, paying 1,200 life points to search for a pendulum monster from our deck to our hand. And now our pendulum zones are negated until we pendulum summon. Our target that we're going to search is the Magical Libera. So now in our hand, we have Magical Libera, Hojo, our Archer, and what other cards we ever drew with. From here, we're going to scale our Magical Libera in this pendulum zone. If you had the Beyond the Pendulum over here, you would want to put the Magical Libera in that zone. We will then scale Hojo, and we will pendulum summon. We'll pendulum summon 2 from the extra deck. We'll do the Priestess and the Baron, and then we will pendulum summon from our hand our Archer. Now the zones are not negated anymore, so we can start using their effects. We'll activate Hojo to special summon him because we have another water type on the field, another water type Vaylantz monster on the field. We're then going to activate Magical Libera to modify the levels of 2 monsters. We're going to target Hojo and the Priestess, and we're going to modify Hojo's level by 2. We're going to make it go from a level 8 to a level 6. And now the Priestess should be a level 4. Because we have 2 level 4s, we can XZ summon. And we can go into the Bahamut Shark. We're going to activate Bahamut Shark. We're going to detach the Priestess to special summon our Totally Awesome. Now we can Link 2. So Beyond will go there. Baron will go into the extra deck. We will Link 2 into our Sprite Elf. We're going to activate Sprite Elf to target the Priestess that we detached. And we will special summon it. Now we can Link 2 with our Priestess, which will now go to the extra deck. And the Bahamut Shark and the Archer will go to the graveyard. And we'll Link 2 into our IP Masquerena. We're now going to activate Hojo's effect to bounce a card in the Spell and Trap zone back to the hand. And we're going to target Magical Libera. We'll add that to our hand. And we still have our normal summon. We're going to normal summon the Magical Libera. It's a level 4. And because we modified the level of our Hojo, it is a level 6. Which would allow us to do a level 10 synchro play. So we're going to do that. And we're going to synchro into our, in my case, Chen Yang. Though, again, if you can afford it, your Baron to floor. And so this is what your end board will look like. Should be a Totally Awesome. Ideally, a Baron to floor. An IP Masquerena and a Sprite Elf. Which these two, during your opponent's turn, you can go into your Nightmare Unicorn. So you have the total of 1, 2, and 3 lines of disruption on your opponent's turn. Also, when you use the effect of Totally Awesome, when it goes to the graveyard, it will be able to add a water type from the graveyard to your hand. And so that is one way that you can recover your Archer, because you're not going to be able to get back into Totally Awesome because you'd have to return the Bahamut Shark and then find a way for this to get back in your hand as well, which would be your extra deck. The next combo I'll show you. So if you are not doing the FTK turn 1, you can still go into that combo line, though your outcome is, instead of FTKing your opponent, you're going to be able to use your Cyber Sign to summon your Nateria Exterio. So that is another line of play if you're unable to do your main combo line to get out your Baron to floor. So again, this combo is going to be very similar to what you'll see for the FTK. We just need 1 card, and we just need the Priestess. We'll start by scaling her, special summoning her, and then activating her effect to search for a solo activation. We're going to activate the solo activation, placing a monster in this pendulum zone, and that's going to be our Baron. We're going to summon Baron, activate his effect, move the Priestess, activate her effect, and we're going to search for our Mad Marquis. We are going to link 2. These will go to our extra deck, and we will go into a Beyond the Pendulum. We'll go to our Beyond the Pendulum. Activate its effect. When it's summoned, we'll lose 1,200 life points, but we will be able to search out our Magical Libra. So now we have Magical Libra in our hand and our Mad Marquis. We're going to scale the 2. Make sure that you put the Magical Libra in this pendulum zone if your Beyond the Pendulum is placed here. If your Beyond the Pendulum is placed here, we would want these scales to be switched. We're going to pendulum summon, and we're going to summon out our Baron and our Priestess. We're then going to activate our Mad Marquis to special summon itself. We're going to roll our die, and hopefully we are able to excavate a Vaylantz monster. So I'm just going to randomly add our Hojo, though the name doesn't really matter. We're then going to activate our Magical Libra to target our Mad Marquis and our Buster Baron, and we are going to subtract 2 levels from Mad Marquis and then add them to the Baron. So now we'll have 2 level 4 machine types, which will allow us to XC summon into our Gear Gigant X. We can detach 1 monster. I don't believe it matters. And we will search out our Cyber Stein. And so now we'll have our Cyber Stein in our hand with our Hojo and then whatever other cards that we drew. We'll normal summon our Cyber Stein, activate its effect, and we will target and special summon our Nateria Exterio. Now, actually, ideally, I think we probably should have put the Gear Gigant in this zone because we want, ideally, the Nateria Exterio to be in these 2 zones, one of those 2. I'm going to go right there. Also, ideally, if you could get in the middle zone, that works too, just so that in later plays, you do have this zone cleared up, so that if you needed to move a monster here, you could, though, again, play your cards very wisely. So now we have our Exterio on our field, Gear Gigant, the Priestess, Stein, and our Beyond the Pendulum, but we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go into our Appaloosa if we wanted to. So we would have a 4 negate Appaloosa and unlimited spell and trap negates here. Or you could go into a IP Masquerena with, any two monsters. And then you could technically go into a Nightmare Unicorn the next turn. Again, it really depends on what you want to do. I like having those monster negates, so we'll send those there. That's going to go to our extra deck. That'll go here, and this will go here. And we want to put the Appaloosa in whatever position is going to allow us to have the most amount of monster card zones open, so that if it does survive our turn, we have 3 zones to pendulum summon into. If we can keep that Magical Libra on the field, we should be able to be in really good shape. So again, you'll have 4 monster negates here, and then unlimited spell and trap negates here. In this example, we will show you how to do the FTK. You will need 1 card, and that is just the Priestess. We'll start by scaling her. Special summon. Activate her effect to search for a solo activation. You're going to activate the solo activation to search for your Baron and place him into this pendulum scale. Special summon the Baron, activate his effect, move the Priestess, activate her effect to add Mad Marquis from your deck to your hand. So now you have Mad Marquis in your hand. Next, we're going to link 2 into our Beyond the Pendulum. Those will go to the extra deck. Beyond the Pendulum will activate its effect. We'll search a card, and we will search our Magical Libra. We will now scale. We'll put Magical Libra in this scale, and the Mad Marquis in this scale. We're going to pendulum summon, and we're going to summon both of our level 2s. We're now going to activate Mad Marquis, special summon himself, activate its effect, and hopefully you're able to mill and get 1 Vaylantz monster from your deck to your hand. Doesn't really matter what it is. You just need to be able to place 1 more card on the field, though keep in mind, this is a 1-card combo, so you should have 4, or if you went second, 5 other cards in your hand, aside from this Hojo. So we'll have this in our hand now. We're going to activate the Magical Libra to target the Mad Marquis in the Buster Baron. Modifying the level of the Mad Marquis, we're going to subtract 2, add 2, so now they will both be level 4 machine types. Because of that, we're going to X these into our Gear Gigan X. We're going to activate the Gear Gigan X. I don't believe it matters what you detach. Not too sure. But we'll detach the Baron, and we will search for our Cyberstein. We still have our normal summon. So we'll normal summon a Cyberstein to either this monster zone, or if this one is free as well, this monster zone. We just need to be able to link summon a Reprodocus and point to the Cyberstein to change its type to a Psychic type. We're going to activate our Stein, and we are going to special summon our sea monster of Theseus. So Theseus is a level 5, Shinonome is a level 2. We are going to pendulum summon, synchro summon into our Power Tool Dragon. We will activate the Power Tool Dragon to reveal 3 telekinetic charging cells. Our opponent will select one of them to add to our hand at random, but we will be adding the charging cell. We're going to activate the charging cell, we can't activate that yet. We are going to link 2 with our Beyond the Pendulum and our Power Tool Dragon and go into our Reprodocus. Again, if you put the Reprodocus in this zone, the Cyberstein must be in that zone. We're going to activate Reprodocus and change our monsters to Psychic type. We will then activate the Telekinetic Charging Cell, targeting our Cyberstein. And now when we activate Cyberstein's effect, we don't have to pay our life points. We're going to activate Cyberstein's effect 3 times, and we're going to summon our Blaze Phoenix. So currently, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards on our field. Each of our Blaze Phoenix, on a soft once per turn, can inflict 300 points of damage for each card on the field. We need one more card for each of our Blaze Phoenixes to FTK our opponent, which is why you need just the one extra card. Again, depending on what your starting hand is, you should have plenty other to place a card on the field some way, somehow. I'm going to scale the warrior. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards times 3 is going to be 2,700 effect damage from each of our Blaze Phoenix, which will FTK our opponent. We will activate all 3, and we will FTK.